Hey, you guys, good morning. Good morning. It is your girl, Himiko Siddiqui. Today I want to talk about the worst day of my life. And I want to share this with you guys because a lot of times we're going through things in our lifetime and we let our childhood upbringing affect who we're becoming. So I remember when I was probably 18, 19 years old. I had just started working out at 24 Hour Fitness. And I had gotten into good shape, okay? And I came home from the gym. Now, let me set this up for you so you understand where I'm going with this. Share this message because it's going to help somebody today. I was coming home from the gym and I had a stepfather. This stepfather was Hispanic and he used to be extremely abusive to me as a child. I ended up living in a children's shelter because of him. But I'll never forget, I had went to the gym that day. I had on my blue Nike outfit. I had gotten into really good shape. I used to be like the step queen back in the day. And so when I got home, I remember walking up the stairs and he was in the living room listening to some music and he was intoxicated. And I remember him saying to me, "You are dumb, stupid, a nigger, and you'll never be anything in life." And I grew up with him repeating that to me over and over and over again as a child. And I'm going to tell you, any child that is brought up in an environment where a parent or a parental figure, what's up, Key Babe? A parental figure acknowledges you in that way, you grow up and you feel very insecure. So growing up as a child, I felt really insecure. I felt insignificant. I felt unseen. And my mom she was working all the time. She didn't have time to be home. So he had the opportunity and the direct access to me to tell me these things constantly. And now looking back, I realized he was really talking to himself about how he felt about himself. But anyway, so because of that, ever since I was a little girl, I grew up feeling like I was never going to be anything. And I also felt like my friends that I was hanging out with, they were really good in school. I was not great in school at all. And so growing up, watching them do well in school, and I struggled emotionally, just struggled thinking and listening and all of those things when I was a kid. And here we are today. I'm about to launch my own app, Partner Pro. You guys know about Automate Your Real Estate. And what's up, Key? I see you, darling. As I'm about to launch this app, I think back to that little girl who was told, "You're dumb, you're stupid, you're a nigger, you're never going to be anything in life." To the friends that I looked up to and thought, one day they're going to be so great and I'm going to live this mediocre life because I barely got out of school, y'all. I didn't find out I was going to graduate until the day graduation happened. I struggled literally to get out of school. When I was a senior in high school, I had left my mom's house to get away from him. So I ran away. And for 6 months, nobody knew where I was. I was literally down the street. And so I look back at that little girl that was struggling to identify herself and struggling to figure out what way I'm going to go in life because I didn't feel like I was worthy of love. I didn't feel like I was worthy of anything. And then who's going to hire me? I didn't go to college. I went to college and dropped right out probably in the first 3 months. Why? Because school wasn't my thing. So when I look back at that little girl and I see where she is today, it really honestly makes me want to cry, you guys. But I want you to understand those experiences are what shape you to become who you're going to be right now. So I want to encourage you today, as Partner Pro is getting ready to launch next week into the universe, we're going to head out. As I wrote my first offer and we put it through the system, and to watch it happen, but misfire some things, I was really proud because this is something that I did. I didn't have no business background. I taught myself business. That stupid, dumb, that was never going to be anything in life, she's building a business with no business classes that she went to college to take. And so I want to encourage you guys, because sometimes you will think that person that went to college, that person that was the best cheerleader in high school, the best football player in high school, you will never be like them because you grow up and you were broken and you were hurt and you were whatever you were telling yourself. And then watch you today to say, you're becoming a CEO of a company that you built, that you birthed with God's help. So I want to share that with you today, because the day that I came home from the gym, let me finish the story. So when I get home from the gym, I walk up the stairs. He's in the living room, intoxicated. He tells me what I told you. I'm dumb, stupid. I'll never be anything in life. And as I'm walking, I look at him, and I'm in my gym clothes, y'all. So you already know I'm on 10. I walk up the stairs and I'm going left towards my room. Living room is over here. He grabs me by my hair and pulls me back. And that little girl was so angry on the inside, so hurt on the inside, so broken that I can't even tell you what happens when you push somebody in a corner that you think is weak. They come out swinging. So that day, you guys, I beat him up. Now, because he was drunk and I was in good shape, I had leverage because he was already intoxicated. So he didn't have no wherewithal about himself. So I turn around and I remember tackling him to the ground. I don't even know where the strength came from, but it did. I tackled him to the ground and I got on top of him and I was punching him and I was punching him and I was punching him. And he called the police. Well, after I got up, I was up breathing all heavy and everything. And I remember going into my room. I don't remember if I was talking. I don't remember if I was saying anything, but he called the police on me. And the police came and he told them he wanted me out of their house. Now, let me remind you, this is my stepfather. So the house belonged to my mother, not to him. I was there before he was there, okay? So the police come. He has this big eye. It's black and blue because your girl was like in the gym working on her fitness. I was a kickboxing instructor as well as at the time. So, I was probably about 21. So anyway, long story short, the cop said, wow, she beat you up pretty good. And he said, yeah, I want that nigger out of here. I don't want her living here anymore. And he said, well, sir, this house belonged to her before it belonged to you, because they realized like the dynamics. And so they ended up taking him to jail, and he went to jail that night. And I remember how I felt. I felt for the first time in my life that I was protected, police officers, okay? And in this moment, as I'm getting ready to launch Partner Pro, and I think about that little girl, I get to look back at her and say, you don't have to be insecure that you struggled through school. You don't have to be insecure that somebody who is insecure within themselves try to project that on you. You don't have to be insecure that you don't have a business degree from Harvard or Stanford or anything. God gave you everything you need. Go be great. When I was going through the divorce and I was telling God, I said, I'm tired. I don't know what you want me to do. God said to me, let go and go be great. And I was like, Lord, go be great at what? I'm just a real estate agent. What I didn't know is God had a plan for me that was greater than I could ever see. So as of right now, we wrote our first offer. It's going through Partner Pro, and I'm watching everything go on. And I literally want to cry right now. Not because I'm sad about anything, but I'm rejoicing for the little girl who had to fight her way through living in a children's shelter, had to fight her way through intoxicated stepfather who took his insecurities and pushed it over onto her. That little girl that had to live in a children's shelter and prove that she was worthy and good enough. She's right here, baby. You're a single mom of 3 kids, 2 that live with you, 1 that's legally blind, and you made it. And you made it. So I want you to encourage yourself today. You might be down and out today. It is in the struggle that the growth happens. It is in the struggle that the growth happens. So I want to encourage you today to keep pushing forward. I don't care what happened in your childhood. I don't care if you went to college. I don't care where you are. The only thing you're required to do today is pick yourself up. Pick yourself up and will your way. And I know your question is going to be this, Miko, how did you do it if you didn't know what to do? I promise you. YouTube University. What's up, Cordarius? I see you, darling. YouTube University, that's where I was at. Every time when you guys are watching, like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and when you're watching all these television programs, you watch it for the entertainment. I watch it to watch how they move. And then I do that. That's what I want you to start doing. Find your mentor. Find your mentor wherever you can, even if they're on the television. Watch how they move, and then you start to learn. That's all you got to do. And that's exactly how I was able to progress. I brought in, what's up, cousin? I see you. I brought in 2 business partners. And as I brought in these 2 business partners, their first priority was self. God's priority was his people. So he moved them out of the way. But what he gave me in the 2 years that we worked together was lessons. And I learned from them. And it was from what I learned from them that I was able to produce in 4 months what we couldn't do in 2 years. So I want to encourage you today, do not lay where you are. Move. It might be the worst day of your life, but it's only setting you up for what God has for you. So that's all I want to say today. I'm done with my soapbox. If you understand where I'm coming from, if you've been low like I have been, put it in the comments. I want to know where you've been. I want to know. Summer said, I've been in a slump regarding my childhood life. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can all be there. But the problem is you got to will your way up, honey. I'm telling you, sometimes what I do, because I need to be encouraged, I will find a Eric Thomas or I'll find a TD Jakes and I will play it so that I can hear it to encourage myself. Because sometimes people ain't going to be there to speak life into you. You need somebody to speak life into you that sometimes it's got to come from a YouTube. Or it's got to come from somebody you don't even know personally. Sometimes it's got to come from that. What's up, Alex? I see you. What's up, sis? I see you. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share this morning. I'm going to get off my soapbox so I can get back in here and finish out what we're doing with Partner Pro. But if you are a real estate agent and you want to grow your business and stop working your zip code and start working your state, sign up for Partner Pro's wait list. Y'all, we coming. Like in the words of Deion Sanders, you know we coming, baby. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.